Good morning, and let me begin with something most people are never told clearly enough. Between the ages of 75 and 85, the most important question is not simply, how old are you? The better question is, how much of your life can you still live on your own terms? Because there are people at 78 who have already started giving up pieces of their independence, and there are people at 84 who are still walking, thinking, choosing, laughing, learning, and participating in life with remarkable strength. What separates those two groups is not always luck. It is not always genetics. And it is not always because one person had perfect health and another did not. In many cases, the difference comes down to small daily abilities that quietly protect the body, the brain, and the spirit. These abilities look ordinary from the outside, but after 75, they are powerful signs that someone is still doing something very right. My name is Dr. Nathan Fox, and today I want to walk you through 6 things that, if you can still do them between the ages of 75 and 85, may suggest that you are truly one of a kind. I do not mean perfect. I do not mean free from pain, medication, stiffness, fatigue, or doctor visits. I mean that your body and mind are still holding on to important forms of strength that many people lose without noticing until life becomes smaller. These 6 things are not Olympic achievements. They are not expensive medical treatments. They are not miracle supplements. They are everyday signs of healthy aging: movement, independence, mental sharpness, social connection, emotional flexibility, and the ability to keep a hopeful outlook even when life is not easy. And number 1 may surprise you, because it is not just about exercise or food. It is something many older adults underestimate, yet it can shape memory, confidence, motivation, and even the will to keep moving forward. Before we begin, write your age in the comments. Are you 75, 78, 80, 83, or 85? Or are you watching for a parent, spouse, neighbor, or someone you love? Then tell me which of these 6 things you can still do. Your answer may encourage another senior who is quietly wondering whether it is too late to improve. Let this be more than a video. Let this be a reminder that aging well is not about pretending you are young. It is about protecting what still matters. Let us begin with number 6. You still move your body every day, even if the movement is slower than it used to be. After 75, movement does not need to be dramatic to be powerful. A walk to the mailbox, a few minutes in the garden, standing up from a chair several times, stretching your shoulders, walking through the grocery store, or doing gentle balance practice at home may look small, but to your muscles, joints, heart, lungs, and brain, those movements are signals. They say, this body is still being used. This body still needs strength. This body still has a job. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 75 is believing that slowing down and stopping are the same thing. They are not. Slowing down may be wise. You may need more rest, more caution, better shoes, a cane, a chair for support, or exercises that match your ability. But stopping completely is different. When you stop moving, your body begins to adapt to stillness. Muscles weaken. Balance becomes less reliable. The heart works less efficiently. The joints become stiffer. Even confidence begins to shrink because the body no longer receives practice doing normal daily tasks. This is why daily movement after 75 is not just about fitness, it is about independence. The ability to move from one room to another, get out of a chair, step outside, carry a light grocery bag, climb a small step, reach for something safely, or walk to the bathroom at night is not a luxury. These are the building blocks of living in your own home and making your own choices. When those movements remain part of your day, you are protecting more than muscles. You are protecting freedom. Many people think exercise has to mean sweating, counting repetitions, buying equipment, or joining a gym. That belief stops many seniors before they even begin. But for adults between 75 and 85, movement can be simple and still meaningful. A 5-minute walk after breakfast, gentle chair squats, heel raises while holding the kitchen counter, shoulder rolls, light resistance bands, or slow marching in place can all help remind the body to stay responsive. The key is not intensity. The key is consistency. Here is the important part. The seniors who age best often do not move because they feel energetic every day. They move because they understand that energy is often created by movement. Waiting until you feel strong enough to move can become a trap. Safe, gentle movement is often what helps you feel stronger in the first place. Even on a low-energy day, doing a little may be better than doing nothing at all. I once met an older gentleman who told me, "Doctor, I do not exercise anymore. I just walk around the house." But when I asked him what that meant, he said he walked from room to room several times a day, watered his plants, stood while preparing simple meals, and climbed 3 porch steps slowly each afternoon. I told him, "That is not nothing. That is your body still participating." Sometimes we dismiss the very habits that are keeping us going. Number 5. You can still manage parts of your daily life independently. This does not mean you never need help. Needing help after 75 is not shameful. In fact, wise seniors know when to accept help before pride turns into danger. But if you can still handle important pieces of your day, getting dressed, preparing a simple meal, organizing your medications, choosing your clothes, bathing safely, calling someone when you need support, or keeping your home environment manageable, that is a major sign of strength. Independence is not all or nothing. Too many people think that if they cannot do everything the way they did at 55, then independence is gone. That is not true. Independence can be adjusted. It can be supported. It can be protected with tools, routines, safer furniture, better lighting, grab bars, pill organizers, calendars, family check-ins, and medical guidance. A person who uses a walker but still chooses when to go outside may still be independent in an important way. A person who uses a shower chair but bathes safely may be protecting independence, not losing it. The danger is when small difficulties are ignored until they become crises. For example, if standing from a low chair has become difficult, that does not automatically mean you are failing. It may mean the chair is too low, your leg strength needs work, or you need a safer technique. If you are forgetting appointments, it may mean you need a written system or phone reminders. If you feel unsteady in the bathroom, it may mean your environment needs changes. Successful aging often means adapting early, instead of waiting until a fall, mistake, or emergency forces the change. If you are between 75 and 85 and you still make choices about your day, that matters. Choosing what to eat, when to rest, who to call, what to wear, what to watch, what to read, or when to take a short walk may sound ordinary. But choice is deeply connected to dignity. One of the hardest parts of aging is not simply needing help. It is feeling that life is being decided for you. Protecting independence means protecting your ability to participate in decisions about your own life. A strong sign of healthy aging is when a senior can say, "I may need support, but I am still involved." That sentence is powerful. It means you are not giving up responsibility for your life. You are adjusting the method, not surrendering the mission. That mindset can make the difference between aging with fear and aging with wisdom. Number 4, you still challenge your mind. After 75, the brain loves routine because routine feels safe and efficient. You know where things belong. You know how your day goes. You know the familiar roads, familiar meals, familiar conversations, and familiar television programs. Routine can be comforting, and there is nothing wrong with that. But the brain also needs gentle challenge. It needs moments that make it pay attention, solve, remember, organize, compare, and learn. Mental sharpness is not only about doing crossword puzzles, although puzzles can be useful for some people. It is about using the brain in ways that require active effort. Reading something and explaining it to someone else, learning a new recipe, practicing a new skill, playing a card game, writing memories for your family, managing a small budget, learning how to use a phone feature, listening to a podcast and discussing it, or taking a class designed for older adults can all challenge the brain. The key word is active. Passive entertainment may relax you, and relaxation has value, but passive watching is not the same as mental training. The brain becomes sharper when it has to work. After 75, this does not mean overwhelming yourself. It means choosing one small challenge and staying with it. Learn 5 words in another language. Practice one song on a keyboard. Read one page of a difficult book and summarize it. Learn a new prayer, poem, or family story. Try a new route with someone you trust. These are not childish activities. They are signals to the brain that new connections still matter. A powerful sign that someone is aging well is curiosity. When a senior still asks questions, still wants to understand, still wonders why something happens, still learns names, still follows a conversation, and still tries to solve small problems, that person is using one of the strongest tools for healthy aging. Curiosity keeps the mind reaching forward. There is also an emotional side to mental sharpness. Many seniors become afraid of mistakes. They stop trying new things because they do not want to feel foolish. But learning requires imperfection. A person who is willing to be a beginner at 80 is doing something remarkable. They are telling the brain, "We are still growing." That attitude is rare, and it is valuable. Maybe you cannot remember everything as quickly as you once did. Maybe names take longer. Maybe you walk into a room and forget why you went there. That can happen to many people. But the question is not whether your brain is exactly the same as it was decades ago. The question is whether you are still giving it reasons to stay engaged. A brain that is invited into life has more to work with than a brain that is left alone with repetition and silence. Number 3. You stay connected to other people. This may be one of the most underestimated signs of healthy aging between 75 and 85. Many people talk about food, steps, vitamins, blood pressure, and sleep, but they forget that human connection is also part of health. Loneliness is not just sadness. It can change how a person eats, sleeps, moves, thinks, and cares for themselves. When older adults become isolated, life can begin shrinking quickly. One missed church service becomes a month at home. One canceled lunch becomes no lunches at all. One difficult conversation with family becomes silence. Over time, the phone rings less. The door opens less. The person speaks less. And without regular connection, the mind and body can lose stimulation that once came naturally from daily life. But seniors who continue to engage with others often show a different kind of resilience. They may have a neighbor they check on, a daughter they call every morning, a friend they walk with, a church group, senior center, book club, volunteer role, or weekly family dinner. Even one meaningful connection can become a lifeline. The number of people is less important than the quality of the connection. Here is what matters. The interaction should be real. Not just sitting in the same room while the television is on. Not just scrolling through messages without speaking. Real connection means you listen, respond, laugh, remember, advise, ask, encourage, and sometimes disagree. Conversation makes the brain work. Friendship softens stress. Shared laughter gives the nervous system a signal of safety. Feeling needed reminds a person that they still have a place in the world. If you are 75 to 85 and you still reach out to people, that is a sign of strength. If you still call someone just to ask how they are doing, that matters. If you still accept invitations, even when you feel a little tired, that matters. If you still allow people to know the real you, not just the polite version, but the version that has fears, memories, opinions, and stories, that matters. There is a special kind of courage in staying socially connected after loss. Many older adults have lost spouses, siblings, friends, neighbors, or familiar communities. After enough losses, the heart may try to protect itself by pulling away. It may whisper, "Do not get close again. it hurts too much. But the people who continue to connect, even gently, are showing emotional bravery. They are choosing life after grief. Number 2. You adapt when life changes. This is one of the clearest signs that someone is aging well, and it is not talked about enough. Aging brings changes. Some are physical, like slower walking, lower stamina, stiffness, hearing changes, vision changes, or new medical routines. Some are emotional, like grief, retirement, family changes, or a sense that the world is moving too fast. Some are practical, like needing safer shoes, a medication organizer, a ride to an appointment, or help with heavy tasks. The seniors who struggle most are often not the ones with the most challenges. They are the ones who refuse to adjust. They keep using the same unsafe step stool. They keep walking in slippery shoes. They refuse hearing aids even though conversations become harder. They avoid using a cane because they think it makes them look old. They reject help until a crisis makes help unavoidable. Pride can look strong from the outside, but sometimes pride is fear wearing a costume. Aging well requires flexibility. It means saying, "This is different now, so I will do it differently." That is not weakness. That is intelligence. If your balance has changed, you improve the lighting, remove rugs, use railings, and train balance safely. If cooking large meals is exhausting, you prepare simpler, nutritious meals. If memory is less reliable, you use lists and reminders. If driving at night feels unsafe, you adjust your schedule. These are not signs that life is over. They are signs that you are still making wise choices. Adaptability is what keeps life open. A person who adapts can keep doing meaningful things longer. Maybe you cannot garden for 3 hours anymore, but you can garden for 20 minutes. Maybe you cannot walk a mile, but you can walk to the end of the block. Maybe you cannot host a large dinner, but you can invite one person for tea. The form changes, but the purpose remains. This is especially important between 75 and 85 because this decade often brings new decisions. The body may demand more respect. Recovery may take longer. Overdoing something may cost more the next day. But wise adaptation can prevent unnecessary decline. It allows you to conserve energy for what matters most, instead of wasting it trying to prove nothing has changed. If you can still adapt, you are truly strong. Not because life is easy, but because you are still flexible enough to respond. A rigid tree breaks in a storm. A flexible tree bends and remains standing. The same is true for aging. Flexibility of mind may protect independence as much as strength of body. And now we come to number 1. You still have a reason to get up. This may be the most powerful sign of all. It is also the one many people do not expect. A person can eat well, sleep well, walk daily, and take medicine correctly, but if they lose their sense of purpose, something deep begins to fade. Purpose is not just a feeling. It is the inner reason that tells the body and mind, we still have something to do. Purpose after 75 does not have to be grand. You do not need to run a company, write a book, lead a movement, or prove anything to the world. Purpose can be caring for a spouse, calling grandchildren, tending plants, praying for others, teaching family recipes, feeding birds, volunteering, writing memories, staying strong enough to attend family events, or simply being a steady presence for people who love you. The strongest seniors I have met often have one thing in common. They feel responsible for something beyond their own discomfort. They may have pain, but they still water the flowers. They may feel tired, but they still call a lonely friend. They may move slowly, but they still show up at church, at the table, at the family gathering, or in the life of someone who needs them. Purpose pulls them forward. Without purpose, days can blur together. Morning becomes afternoon. Afternoon becomes evening. Television fills the silence. Meals become less important. Movement feels less necessary. The body may still be alive, but the person begins withdrawing from the story of their own life. That is why purpose matters so much. It gives structure to the day and meaning to effort. Ask yourself honestly, what is one reason you want to remain strong? Not 10 reasons, just one. Is it to stay in your home? To walk at a grandchild's wedding? To remember family stories? To keep caring for your spouse? To keep driving during the day? To keep cooking your favorite meal? To keep serving in your community? To keep your mind sharp enough to make your own decisions? When you know your reason, healthy habits become less like chores and more like protection. You drink water because you want to think clearly. You move because you want to keep walking. You eat protein because you want your legs to carry you. You sleep because tomorrow matters. You talk to others because your heart still needs connection. Purpose gives all the other habits a direction. This is why number 1 is so powerful. A person with purpose is more likely to move, connect, adapt, learn, and care for the body. Purpose does not remove pain, grief, illness, or difficulty, but it can change the way a person responds to them. It can turn "why bother" into "I still have a reason." Now let us bring all 6 together. Number 6, you still move every day, even in small ways. Number 5, you still manage parts of your life independently. Number 4, you still challenge your mind. Number 3, you stay connected to other people. Number 2, you adapt when life changes. And number 1, you still have a reason to get up. If you are between 75 and 85, and you still do these things, you should not dismiss them as ordinary. They are not ordinary. They are signs of resilience. They are signs that your body, mind, and spirit are still engaged in life. And even if you cannot do all 6 right now, that does not mean you have failed. It simply means you have a place to begin. Choose one. Just one. If movement has faded, begin with a few safe steps or chair exercises. If independence has become harder, make one home safety change. If your mind feels unstimulated, learn one small new thing. If loneliness has grown, make one phone call. If change has made you bitter or afraid, practice one adjustment. If purpose feels distant, ask yourself who or what still matters enough to help you try. Aging well is not about pretending you are 50. It is about becoming wise enough to protect what remains, rebuild what can improve, and accept support where it helps. It is about understanding that your life is still valuable, not because you can do everything, but because you are still here, still learning, still choosing, and still capable of meaningful change. Please do not let anyone tell you that after 75, decline is the only story left. Decline can happen, yes. Illness can happen. Loss can happen. But improvement can also happen. Confidence can return. Strength can be rebuilt. Friendships can be renewed. Skills can be learned. Routines can be repaired. Purpose can be rediscovered. I have seen people in their late 70s begin walking again after months of inactivity. I have seen people in their 80s reconnect with family after years of silence. I have seen older adults who thought their mind was finished become curious again through reading, classes, music, or conversation. I have seen seniors regain pride simply by standing from a chair with more control than they had the month before. Do not underestimate small victories. After 75, a small victory may be standing steadier, drinking enough water, remembering an appointment, calling a friend, finishing a puzzle, preparing a healthier breakfast, sleeping better, or walking outside for 5 minutes. These small victories are not small to the nervous system. They are not small to the muscles. They are not small to the heart. They are messages that life is still moving. Now I want you to write in the comments, which of the 6 signs do you still have, and which one do you want to strengthen? Write your age too. Your story may become encouragement for someone else who feels behind, discouraged, or forgotten. This community is built from people like you, people who still care enough to learn, improve, and support one another. My name is Dr. Nathan Fox. Subscribe for more senior health education that speaks plainly, respects your life experience, and focuses on practical steps that can protect independence after 60, 70, 75, and beyond. Share this video with someone between 75 and 85 who needs to hear that it is not too late to keep going. Take good care of yourself, because your life is not finished simply because you are older. You are not just counting years, you are still building days. And every day you choose movement, independence, curiosity, connection, flexibility, and purpose, you are proving something powerful. Healthy aging is not about never changing. It is about continuing to participate in your own life with courage, wisdom, and hope.